real, that's the only way to do it. If you're gonna keep it
It's the
real,
only way to do.
that's the only way to do it. If you're gonna fudge the truth, I said when we first started on this journey that there's no conversation we'll shy away from. There's no subject that we will not touch, and sometimes we'll agree to disagree, but that's okay. We're willing to have the conversation, and we want all you guys to chime in. Give us your opinion on what we're talking about. Leave your comments, and maybe we can discuss some of them on the next blog or when we go live. We can delve in, to some other areas. But guys, we've got to get the conversations started in order to have the conversation. So make sure that um, you know, just join in the conversation. And King Lewis, with that being said, is there any thing else you want to say on interracial relationship? We still got such a long ways to go, in that.
Right.
I'm not opposed to dating a white man. I'm not opposed to you dating a white woman or marrying one, whatever your choice is. But I am opposed to people that do it because because they think that they're more than. Because now we talked about the athlete, but if you look at just the average black man, right? When he has a white woman, does he kind of changes? He kind of changed a little bit, and you're wondering what the change is. And I don't think it's something that he may even see, but it's like your chest is stuck out. I mean, what is that about? I think that's why women get angry. Well, what? He thinks she's better than I. I mean, that may not be what's happening, but that is the aura that he gives off.
Well, to keep it simple, it just goes back to self-hate. But self-hate is taught in school.
Right. Right.
It's constantly shown to us on television.
Okay.
And then, and it's crazy to say this. I was listening to a Grand Master of Ku Klux Klan speak, and I was agreeing with him. He was talking about segregation, and we should go to schools. He wanted his kids just to go to school with other white kids, and black kids should go to school with black kids. And I would have disagreed with him. I think this was in 1980 something when where I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
But now, in hindsight, I agree with him because real history is not taught to black children. We're not spending money in black businesses, so a lot of black businesses are failing. We don't put money into our communities or into black banks, and that ends up hurting us because we're still discriminated against. So we don't have our own people to go to. We have to go to people who hate us to get anything done. And not every white person is going to hate you. You're going to run into some wonderful, beautiful white people. But there are going to be those speed bumps that you're going to continually run into as an African in America for the rest of your life. And that's just ridiculous. I don't have time for that. I wish I could just go to my own people, get it done, and be done with it.
Right, and the only problem I would have with that is see, it's not the minority, it is the majority. See, the majority of white people have prejudice undertones, and some of them just outright. But and it's like a network. It's a network of people. So you're telling your cousin, your aunts, your uncles, and they're the ones who's over the job at the bank. They're over the job at corporate America. They're over the job at the gas station. You understand what I'm saying? So
Most definitely.
they're deciding your fate, more or less. I mean,
Right.
God owns it all. It all belongs to Him. If He want to put you in that place, He's going to move some people. He's going to move some things around, whatever it takes. Because I've seen Him do it, and that's for another blog. Because I've got a testimony to tell, and it's not over yet. Okay, it's not over. He's still going to do some serious good works in our life, King. But that right there, I mean, if you think about it, And then they say, oh, well, they're taking our jobs. How is that possible when you're over everything? You don't have to try nearly as hard as I do. Not nearly. Most of the white people I work with are lazy. Lazy. I'm sorry. Just lazy. I have worked with some, and they don't like to do. I mean, you working your behind off, and I'm the manager, but the cashier thinks she's supposed to do less work than me.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And then she goes to corporate America and complain. And corporate America, this is what they do now. They come to you, well, Denise, just try and work with her. Whatever. If it then that same another employee goes to corporate America, a black one. Well, Denise, if she's not working out, get rid of her.
Would you tell us how when you're in an area that they don't think you should be in, how do they explain that to you? They should put you in a store that.
Oh,
Yes,
demographically.
Would
Yeah.
you explain how they say that to you? Because here's the deal: people don't know what we go through.
Yeah.
And I think we're making that mistake. I want to clarify: if you're going to date a black man or a black woman, you have to understand. When we go into a situation, whether it's a bank or a job, it's not just about do I qualify. We have to also take in mind that this person might be racist. And a lot of times it's true, where you don't have to worry about that. We do. So explain that to them so they can understand extra stresses that we have to deal with and think about every day.
Well, I'm going to give you, for instance, I took over a store, and okay, someone came in and was talking to me, was one of the VPs. He said, well, you're doing a good job, but they should have put you in a store more to your demographics.
Wow.
Stop me in my tracks. I said, okay, can you please explain to me what my demographics are? He said, well, you know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. I knew what he was talking about, but I wanted him to say it to me. I want you to verbalize what you are about to say, because we're going to have a problem after you say it. And he beat around the bush. He never did come out and say it. He just said, well, this is a predominantly white neighborhood. So what else is there to say? How do you, I mean, do you not equate demographics with this is a predominantly white neighborhood? Your clientele is predominantly white. So what? I live in this neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. This is where I shop on a daily basis.
Wow. So it had nothing to do with your experience.
Nothing.
It had nothing to do with your leadership.
Nothing.
It had nothing to do with your money earning or how you can grow the store. He was strictly talking to you about the pigmentation on top of your skin.
Exactly, because going to work for them, since I came from up north, I made a whole lot less than I made up north. I had 20 plus years experience at that time doing what I do, which is managing stores. So, and I had an exemplary record. I mean, just accolades from everywhere I've ever worked.
Wow.
So, had nothing to do with that. Now, if I had a white partner or a husband, when I say partner, a guy that I'm dating, or a husband, how do I go to them and explain, and they really understand what was said to me that day and where I'm at emotionally right now?
If it's never happened to them. I'm sure that's never happened to
right.
a white manager. Hey, you don't belong over here. There's a bunch of black people in this neighborhood. I'm sure that's never happened.
Exactly. Because,
but you can. You can.
Because
and that's the only issue.
They can be in neighborhoods with all black people, and they're accepted. Right. Black people are very accepting.
We are, because we don't care. We just going, yeah, I don't care if it's a white dude I'm talking to about my product or not. It's hey.
Right, but they care. You know, so
Exactly.
that's where that therein lies the problem, though, King. But so again, that's what makes your relationship difficult. And when you can't take them home to meet mom or dad because you know that your family's prejudiced, so things like
I
that,
dealt with that.
you're gonna have to deal with a lot. Yeah, or the family, somebody in the family actually come out and call you the N word.
I've
You know,
had family members give me nooses before.
yikes! What?
So, yeah. So, you know, but these are things that they
Wow.
don't. How do I explain that to someone who's never dealt with racism on a level like this?
Well, let me ask you something. What did your partner say, or your wife? Was it your wife at the time, or?
We were engaged.
Okay,
We got married later.
what did your partner say at that time about somebody giving you a noose? I mean, I would have been ballistic, but I don't know how you handled it. But what did your partner, since we're talking about relationships and how
Right.
that plays in, what did your partner say at the time?
I didn't even tell her.
Oh my gosh!
It was her family members who brought it to me.
But you should have said something.
Well, you know, a lot of times, and I was a lot younger, but you want to. They're what they were trying to do is they were trying to break up my relationship.
Right.
So the less friction, because at the end of the day, that's still her family.
Right.
So I was like, okay, nobody put their hands on me, so I'm okay, cool. You gave me this news, whatever. But if one of y'all put your hands on me, it's going to be a different ball game. And it never got to that point, just name calling in the news. But she was pretty much disowned from that side of her family anyway, and still to this day is.
Wow.
Because she married a black man, he wasn't going to go for it. This is her grandfather.
Wow.
And he wasn't okay with it. And, you know, I would like say grandfather, I don't want to beat up my soon-to-be wife's granddaddy. How does that look? So,
right.
I just said, okay, dude, as long as you don't put your hands on me, you can send me all the ropes you want to. Just don't touch it.
Wow. Wow.
So,
see,
yeah.
You're a lot more even-tempered than me.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm
trying to make your relationship work.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you know,
relationships bring its own issues anyway.
Absolutely,
right
absolutely. But I'm so headstrong that you know what? I probably would have put the relationship on pause. Let me tell you one thing. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I'm getting ready to go in. Let me tell you something. And that's just not something that I could do.
I was in love with my little lady. I ain't want no friction. I was like, okay.
I hear you. I feel.
Put my paws on your granddaddy. That's a bad look. Like, yeah, my husband beat up my grandfather. Like that.
No, and then
I can explain that.
Leave him there with that noose around his neck and a note.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I kept it.
I'm returning your gift. I left around his neck. I mean, after I beat the crap out of him, I'm returning your gift.
Now, at that time, you might remember his name. In Texas, some black man got drugged to death.
Oh yeah, they pulled his head off for going with that white girl. Yeah.
So all this was around the same.
Wow. Wow. Say no more.
So,
say no more.
Well, how do I explain this to someone who's not African? They're not. It's not going to affect them because they don't deal with it. That's.
Well, you give me a noose. I am subject to show up with a bone through my nose and a spear in my hand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't even need the. I don't need the paint. I don't need the paint. That look that I'm coming with. That's gonna be enough for you. You probably die of a heart attack.
You want it.
Okay. Right. Put on
I don't have no shoes on either.
A grass skirt or something. Come running up in there.
I look like Shaka Zulu.
Okay.
Shirt on.
And Shaka was a bad boy.
Yes, sir, he was. He had to go too.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that? Absolutely, because he was knocking fire from him.
Have to go.
He was knocking fire from him, and it took his best friend to bring him down.
Had to go.
So, really though, it's the fear of the black man. It's not that. I don't know. I think for white people, it's some kind of self hatred of themselves because it's the fear of the black man or black woman that really bothers them, and I don't know what that's about because okay. Martin Luther King could, he could command the masses and get us to do things that, normally we couldn't stand together and hold it together and see it through to fruition. He could get us to do all of that. Malcolm X, he could command the masses. He could bring you together, whether you was a Muslim, Christian, what have you, whatever your walk was. People admired his strength. They admired his leadership. So they were gravitating toward that, and they were saying he was getting larger than life. So they didn't like that. Well, the United States didn't like it, and the Nation of Islam didn't like it because he had left the Nation of Islam and, broke off into his own segment. And they had to get rid of him because he was commanding the masses. Shaka Zulu, he was knocking fire from. I could watch that movie over and over again.
Classic.
And yeah, and had it not been for his best friend who betrayed him, and that's another thing, we always get one that is not going to stand with you. That brings me to Ben Carson. That's who comes to mind when I think about, the Judas.
No, I'm a beat you. Sheriff Clark.
Well, okay, so no, Ben Carson. Look how many black people are impoverished and what he's doing now to the Fair Housing Act in the community, as far as HUD and all that. I mean, he hasn't done crap for us, really haven't done crap. And raising the what you already pay, you're already impoverished. What are you talking about? Then you're not fixing up anything. So all of that plays too into your relationship with that other race. If you are with a white woman and you can only provide XYZ, and then you see this white guy probably don't have as much skills as you are, finesse or anything else. He can provide all of these things. Y'all on the same job, same level. What is going on, Lord? That is because he's getting paid so much more. I just read the other day that the average black family makes and lives off of $9,000 a year. The average white family, and this collectively, not as one, lives off $132,000 a year. Now, if that's not a huge gap, what the hell is?
Yikes. Yeah. Just like we spoke earlier about how slowly we're being indoctrinated to believe that we're less than, the same is for them. They're being indoctrinated to think that we're bad guys, that we're all gangsters or big bad men. So even if they don't know it, this is the picture they get when they get around you. Because, I said, I have a lot of white friends and I speak to them. And the questions they ask me or the things they say to me, they don't say it to our other white friends. They only ask me these questions. Like, why are you asking just me?
Right.
And you be born and raised on the same block. Dude, we were born on the same block. What you asking me this for?
So you saying your white friend will do that?
Yeah, some of my white friends will ask me questions because they grew up with this idea of who a black man is. And I'm like, no, bro, that's not how it goes.
And they live right there among you. But you see, inside their household, something else is going on. Something else is being told to them. As far as what their parents are getting in terms of help or compensation from the United States is different from yours. Well, where are all the white people that you see down in social service and the food stamp office? Where are they at? They're not even in the same neighborhood as you. Where are they at?
No.
Where are these people at? Like, is there a separate colony at that point once you leave the food stamp office?
Right. And if race don't matter, how come every time I got to fill out a paper to ask me what race I am? Why does
Because
it matter?
it matters. It matters.
Oh, why am I answering that question?
It matters. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I thought it didn't matter. Why do I have to put I'm black on this paper?
Now, what Jobs will do is say they're asking it for affirmative action. But we all know affirmative action, you're not
Yes.
really using that at this point, especially with Trump in there. So, you want to know whether I'm black. They said because the federal government required them to hire so many black. But that's when affirmative action was really working. It's not working now.
No, before I did it, before I had the job that I have now, I applied for a job at a grocery store just because I was desperate. I had no job, needed a job. I went in that same grocery store and I saw this dude that I know, and I watched him work. I can work circles around him. I know I can do 3 times the work that he's doing in an hour, and he's got the job. And I know I'm more qualified. I'm like, how did he get the job and I applied for that very same job? And I'm like, wait a minute. This dude is younger than me. He's smaller than me. He's weaker than I am. I can work faster than him. How does that make any sense?
Okay. Because he needs to feed his family. You don't need to feed yours.
I'm like, I can pick this dude up and do this job at the same time.
That's you know, I mean, but that's because they don't see you as a person like they see them. I'm telling you,
No.
you know.
And honestly, I was overqualified for the job, to be honest with you.
Right.
Well, I just needed a job.
Right. Exactly. And you're willing to do whatever. Right.
Whatever.
I get it. But
no brain power for me to put some stuff on the shelf. Takes no brain power. You know, I can do that if I sleep. Man. I'm like, dude, come on. And I watched him work. I'm watching him work. But this dude is slow. I know I can outwork him. But hey, I'm glad they said no, because their no was what set God up to tell me yes somewhere else. So thank you.
Wow.
Well, we both have many of these stories. And here's the deal. You see how we can relate to each other? I dated a white woman before, and I was trying to tell. I had somebody treating me really bad. And instead of her trying to understand, she's sitting on the couch criticizing me. Well, are you sure? I've been dealing with racism for 30-something years. I'm sure. I know what racism is. Even the way they look at you, that look you get from people who don't like you, we know what it is. And I'm looking at her like, this is what you get when you date someone who's not like you. She don't know what the hell you talking about. She's on the couch like, are you sure? What?
Wow.
Does a rabbit know a carrot? What are you talking about here?
Yeah.
I remember, my wife is deceased now. You know this.
Right.
The listeners don't. We were going to get an apartment, and the guy approved us over the phone, but he was talking to her. Now, something told me, because God talks to you. Don't bring your black behind over there to get them keys. She was excited. She wanted me to go with her. And I knew I shouldn't go. I shouldn't have went with her to get the keys. We go to get the keys. I go with her. When the man looked at me, he was already a white man. All the color left his face. And I told her when we got in the car, he's not going to give us the apartment. She said, yes, he is. Yes, he is. He already said we're approved. I said, I'm telling you, he's not going to give us the apartment. And when we're following him to the apartment, he didn't even show us the apartment. He got out of his truck. He said, that's the apartment right there. Got in his truck and drove away.
Wow.
And I told her, I said, I knew I shouldn't have came here with you to pick these keys up. Because when he saw me, all the color left his face.
Wow.
And that's what we have to deal with being a black American. I never know. I can't do regular things like go get an apartment. It don't have nothing to do with my credit score or where I work at. Me being black is a big issue in America with a lot of different situations.
Wow. I tell you what, that's what I'm saying. So how do you maintain a quality relationship? First of all, the stress of those things, from the noose to someone, seeing that you're black and keep going. How do you maintain a relationship with all that going on? But then, especially if you have self hatred and you're feeling like that person's more than you, after a while, those things are going to spill over into that relationship. They're going to start affecting that relationship, how you interact with one another, how you talk to each other. Some of that has got to come out. Nobody can hold that kind of animosity in, or self self-loathing, because after a while, that person's gonna say something and you're gonna, oh, what, you think you're better than I am, or you know what I mean? It's gonna come out in different ways. So I just don't see.
With me, you will just stop telling the person about your day
But that's not good. That's not good.
You have no partner when it comes to racism, because I know she's not going to understand what I'm about to say to her, so I'm just not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you're alone when it comes to being abused by people outside of the home, because you have no support in that area. Because she's gonna be like, well, are you sure? And after somebody discriminates against you, the last thing you want is to hear somebody say, well, are you sure?
Yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah, really. Oh, really? Do you think I don't recognize, when I'm being discriminated against?
Me and my sister, I took her to breakfast. We don't go anymore. This is one restaurant we went to. There was only maybe 10 people in the restaurant, and there was a few waiters. We sat at our table after she gave us the menu for at least 45 minutes before she came back over there.
Man, that's something, isn't it?
10 people tops, and I'm giving it the higher end. 10 people tops, and there's 2 or 3 waiters and just sat there.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. Whew, I don't know.
And I'm not a little guy, so you can't miss me. You can't forget about me. Just not gonna happen. How you doing? You see me? Just left us.
Well, that's what I mean. So, and this was supposed to be a short conversation, guys. But I tell you what, the scenarios and what could affect your relationship, how you view that relationship. Are you going to be able to handle the pressure of an interracial relationship? I think that you can, as long as you don't believe that that person is more than you are, and that the two of you are actually working together, and she can actually sympathize and feel somewhat of what you're feeling. If she can't really recognize it or wrap her mind around it, then you're going to have a hard time maintaining that relationship, if at all. And
or you'll just keep it to yourself like I did. But I don't know if I feel like doing that at about 40 years old, knowing that I'm going on new ventures in life.
Yeah.
I'm going to run into new people that have issues with me. I really want someone who can support me. I'm not sure if a Caucasian woman can do that.
Okay.
I'm just not sure.
Okay. Well, guys, with that being said, boy, did we get into a lot. Please join the conversation, like, share, and make sure you subscribe. Always hit those buttons when you come in. Like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime, let's get into a lot, and we'll see you on the next blog.